It is a victory Sunday, baby. The Browns have done it. What a win, and welcome on into the bullpen. I am your host, Adam the Bull, and this is brought to you by Bet Rivers. It's the bullpen with Adam the Bull, and wow, what a game we got to talk about today. The Browns, facing adversity time and time again this season, have found a way overall to make this fan base proud, something this organization has not done very often for the last 30 years. But today might be the biggest one. Yes, they beat the Bengals at home on opening day. Yes, they beat the Niners at home when they were a big underdog with P.J. Walker starting the game. But this one, beating the Ravens today without your starting tackles, with a banged-up Deshaun Watson, on the road against a team that I spent all week last week saying was the best team not only in the division, not only in the AFC, but in all of football. The Ravens had only trailed in their first 10 games this season, 9 games this season, for about 20 minutes, the whole entire season. And for this whole entire game, they were winning. But not in the end. In the end, the Browns, as they have done so many times this season, as opposed, diametrically opposed to what they've done for much of their modern history, finding ways to lose. Not anymore. Today, and many times this year, they have found a way to win. How did it happen? We'll get to all of it coming up next, right here in the bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet Rivers.
You're watching Adam the Bull on the Bet Rivers Network.
All right, folks, before we jump back into it, get extra value this football season with Bet Rivers Squares. Win up to $10,000 in bonus money. That's $10,000. Bet $10 in same-game parlays on any game with the Squares icon to earn a square. So myself and a lot of the guys from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, we have a text group. And at halftime, really in the first quarter, guys were going nuts. My man G. Bush was way out of pocket. He was killing Kevin Stefanski as he does every time the Browns are losing a game. Everybody was losing their mind. Deshaun Watson on the first drive gets a pick, gives up a pick six on a tip ball, and you're like, here we go again. The Browns always lose to the Ravens. Jim Harbaugh has dominated, absolutely dominated the Cleveland Browns. And you're thinking, John Harbaugh, not Jim Harbaugh. You're thinking, okay, well, here we go again. It's going to be all Ravens all the time. The pick six. Browns do nothing. They get the ball back. The Ravens get it again, march down the field, score a touchdown. It's 14-0 before you can blink. 14-0. 4 minutes and 47 seconds into the game. The second touchdown, that run by Keaton Mitchell, was very impressive. Very impressive. The Browns, though, slowly but surely tried to stay in this game. They were grinding down the field, but unfortunately had to settle for field goals. Deshaun Watson in the first half was absolutely atrocious. Much like last week, he played like garbage in the first half and played well in the second half. This week, he again played terribly in the first half. He was 6 for 20. 6 for 20, 79 yards, and a pick six. He got banged up at the end. They had to bring in P.J. Walker to throw the Hail Mary at the end of the first half. Deshaun Watson was a disaster in the first half. It looked like the Browns had no chance. You thought Watson was going to be hurt. You thought he wasn't going to come out for the second half. The Browns' defense tightened up after giving up 17. Well, the Ravens scored 17 points in the first quarter. The defense gave up 10, obviously, off the pick six. Plus the pick six, but it was 17-3 after one quarter. The Browns did creep closer at 17-9. However, Deshaun Watson, as we said, left the game with one play to go, went back to the locker room. They were talking on the broadcast as if he would not play the second half. So you're down 17-9. You'd move the ball a little bit, but you couldn't get in the end zone. And the Ravens had an 8-point lead, so you think you're in big trouble. But okay, you get a chance in the second half. Let's see what you can do. Game's not over. Lamar Jackson hits Odell Beckham Jr. on a slant pattern. And Odell, for one moment in time, looked like vintage Odell, looked like Giants Odell for a moment. He took it, and he was gone. And much like to start the game where the Ravens scored quickly, the start of the third quarter, the Ravens were now up 24-9. Surely the Browns had no chance of winning this game, right? They're down 24-9. You're 3 minutes into the third quarter. We don't even know for sure what Deshaun Watson's status is because he, in addition to the shoulder, he bangs up the ankle. But then Deshaun Watson comes out, and the Browns have one of the longest drives you're ever going to see. 17 plays. 17! 75 yards. The drive took 10 minutes and 9 seconds, and Kareem Hunt busted through the door to make it a 24-15 game. Browns decide to go for two. Deshaun Watson runs up the middle. It's now a touchdown game. And you're right there. Deshaun Watson did a great job on that drive. You get the two-pointer. All of a sudden, it's a touchdown game. Defense has been playing outside of the one pass to Beckham pretty stellar since the first quarter. The Browns then kick off to the Ravens. The Browns defense tightens again, stops them. Ravens are forced to punt to start the fourth quarter. But oh no. James Prochet, who had done such a good job on returns since joining the Browns, fumbles the punt. The Ravens get the ball. It's a crazy possession. The Browns stop them. There's a penalty. They stop them again. There's a penalty. Eventually, Gus Edwards goes in 1 yard out. And now, with 11 and a half minutes to go, a multiple-time banged-up Deshaun Watson, a defense in Baltimore that, along with the Browns, has been the best all year, a team in the Browns that has to throw, and Deshaun Watson, outside of that one drive in the third quarter, had not done much. The Ravens can tee off and rush the passer because they know that even though the Browns have run it well, they can't run it that much because the Browns are down 14 points in the fourth quarter. But what's amazing is not only did the Browns come back, they made it a 1-point game within 3.5 minutes of that Gus Edwards touchdown. Let's go to the fourth quarter, right? After that touchdown, 31-17. Browns get the ball back. It's looking dire. Let's face it. Most of us did not think the Browns were going to win at this point. They're starting from their own 25, and then Deshaun Watson gets sacked. So you're down 14 points. Deshaun Watson sacked. You're looking at a 2nd and 15, down 14 with just over 11 minutes to go. But then the play of there's many plays that led to the Browns ultimately winning this game. But the play, I think, that was the biggest play of this game that turned it around right off that sack was Deshaun Watson hitting Amari Cooper deep for a 25-yard completion, turning a 2nd and 15 at their own 20 with 11 minutes to go, down 14, into a 1st and 10 near midfield. After a short run by Jerome Ford brought it to the 48, the Browns, now just over 10 minutes to go, still down 14, got plenty of more work to do. And that they did. Deshaun Watson hits David Njoku. And David Njoku, who finally, in the last month or so, maybe 6 weeks, is playing his best football of his entire career. living up to the expectations we've had for him for years. He catches that ball, and he could have gone down after 8 yards. He could have gone down after 12 yards. He was tackling the tacklers. He dragged Ravens safety Geno Stone down the field like a man possessed. I'm spitting like a lunatic. And instead of a short gain, the Browns had another first down at the Ravens' 29-yard line. 1st and 10, Ravens 29. Deshaun Watson going to the end zone. Cedric Tillman, he's done nothing all year except a cheap shot block earlier in the game that didn't get called. Browns got lucky there. It was questionable. It's actually a nice block. The pass goes deep to Cedric Tillman. Pass interference. Ball goes to the 10-yard line. We still, not that much clock has been used. Remember, after the sack, you're down 14. You're 2nd and 15. There's 11 minutes to go at your own 20. But now, in about 90 seconds, you're at the Baltimore 10-yard line. They passed to Njoku, goes nowhere. But then, Deshaun Watson in trouble. It's 2nd and goal at the 10. He scrambles out of the pocket. Elijah freaking Moore. He had done nothing. He finds a way. He's sitting down, basically. Deshaun Watson finds him. He scoots into the end zone. It's a touchdown. The extra point is good. And the Browns have cut the lead to 31-24. But there's still a lot of work to do. But there's enough time. Browns got all their timeouts. Just under 9 minutes to go. Browns kick it off. Browns need a stop, right? It's not, you don't have to stop. It doesn't have to be a 3 and out, but you'd prefer it. You still got a lot of time. You still got timeouts. Okay, no need to panic. Ravens decide to run it on 1st down. They get 2 yards. Good stop. Grant Delpit. Sione Taki in on the play. It's 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8. And then Lamar Jackson, who had thrown a pick earlier, drops back to pass. He's looking for, I can't remember who he was looking for because it doesn't matter. Greg Newsome. Interceptions are now his thing. He picks it off, and he's going all the way to the house. A 34-yard interception touchdown return, and the Browns have cut the lead 31-30. Surely Dustin Hopkins, who's been absolute money for the Browns this year, will make the extra point, and this game will be tied. Well, never easy, right? Can't be that easy. Hopkins shanks the kick. And the Ravens still have a 1-point lead. 31 Ravens, 30 Browns, but unbelievably, still 8:16 to go. Remember, Ravens scored a touchdown to go up 31-17 with 11:34 to go. But just over 3 minutes later, the Browns have cut it to 1. Unfortunately, it's not tied, but the Browns defense has played great since the first quarter. Ravens get the ball back. They're going to run the ball, you think, mostly. Maybe Lamar throws it on 3rd down, potentially. They're up 1, but they know the Browns have been moving the ball of late. Ravens run the ball, 1st down. Then Lamar, incomplete pass. Lamar, and it's 3rd and 8. So the Browns, with 7.5 minutes to go still, have a chance to stop the Ravens and get the ball back. This would be huge. They get great field position. Can't get it done. Lamar Jackson, one of the few good plays he made in the second half, hits Zay Flowers, 11 yards. It's 1st down Ravens. Browns then line up. 1st and 10 at the 38. Now down to 6:50 to go. Things are getting a little nerve-wracking, right? Now we're under 7 minutes. The Ravens are going to have at least 3 more plays unless they turn it over. Incomplete pass on 1st down. Short run. Lamar Jackson tries to get out of the pocket, but only gets 1 yard. Darius Smith knocks him to the ground. 3rd down. Ravens start to panic. Look at this. Delay of game on the Ravens. So now it's a 3rd and 14 at their own 34-yard line. Surely the Browns can't blow this, right? Yes, they've blown situations like this many times in the past, but not today, baby. Not today. Lamar Jackson scrambles out of the pocket when he has nothing downfield. He gets 7 yards, but it's not enough, and the Ravens have to punt. Punt it away they do with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Remember, with 11 minutes left, the Browns were down 14. Now, with 5 minutes left, the Browns have the ball, down only 1 because of a missed extra point. Deshaun Watson was brought to Cleveland to win games like this, to go to first place Baltimore and find a way to get it done. In the first half, he didn't look it. We gave you the numbers. But in the second half, Deshaun Watson was nearly perfect. On 1st and 10 at their own 20, with now 4:55 to go, the possession starts with a false start by James Hudson, who held up well enough in this game. Well enough, not great, certainly, but well enough that Watson wasn't getting killed all game. So 1st and 15, not good, right? Again, who does he hit in some of these big spots? Amari Cooper or David Njoku? In this case, it was Njoku. Got him for 11 yards. That was massive. You started with the penalty, and you're able to get 11 yards, so now you get a very manageable 2nd and 4. They go to Jerome Ford, who had a fantastic game. He gets 3, and you're looking at a 3rd and 1 at the 29-yard line. Deshaun Watson drops back to pass. Remember, they're going for it on 4th down. Throws the ball. Hits Jerome Ford. Patrick Queen makes the tackle, but it's too late. 1st down Browns at their own 31. 3 minutes to go. Deshaun Watson drops back to pass. He is sacked. He fumbles. Oh, no, it's disaster. But Wyatt Teller finds his way to the ball at the 22. Okay, Browns still alive, but looking at a 2nd and 19. And who does Deshaun Watson hit? Yet again, it's Amari Cooper. In the middle of the field, 17 yards. Great throw by Watson. Great catch by Cooper. And instead of looking at a 2nd and 19, you're looking at a 3rd and 2. It's a 2-minute warning. The Browns are down 1. Jerome Ford up the middle. Deshaun Watson scrambles himself. His biggest run as a Brown. Browns had it at their own 45. He scrambled for 16 yards. Browns call a timeout. 1:24 to go. They're looking at a 1st and 10 at their own 45. A 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 39. They're in borderline field goal position. Yes, we know our kicker just missed an extra point, but we believe in D-Hop, Dustin Hopkins, because he's made a lot of big kicks. So even for the 39, you would have a chance, but that's not good enough. Jerome Ford for 12. Baltimore takes their 2nd timeout. Kareem Hunt for 1. Baltimore takes their final timeout. That 12 yards by Ford, of course, got the 1st down, and now the Browns can run the clock. Finally, Deshaun Watson takes a knee at the Baltimore 21, and they call a timeout with 3 seconds left. At this moment, I know what Browns fans are thinking, because I'm one of you now, folks. I've been here a long time. I've seen a lot of games, and we know that against the Ravens and Steelers, what always happens in these moments? Something goes wrong. The kick is snapped. The hold is down. The kick is good. Dustin Hopkins does not blow it after missing the extra point. He kicks the game-winning field goal as time expires. But wait! There's a penalty on the field. This is how it happens. Right? Penalty on the Browns. They kick again. He's going to miss. But the penalty's on the Ravens. And this time, the Browns again find a way. But again, against the Ravens, this is different. This is a team that has been their biggest nightmare forever. What a great win. Browns improved to 2-2 on the road, 33-31 the final. Deshaun Watson in the second half. That's the guy you paid for. That's the guy you traded for. 14 of 14, 134 and a touchdown, and the big 16-yard run in the final drive. The Browns score 16 points in the final 12 minutes and beat the Ravens. Ravens are 7-3. The Browns are 6-3. So the Browns, hey, coming up this week, the Bengals lost to the Texans, by the way, in a crazy, wild game, very similar ending to this one. C.J. Stroud's amazing. We'll talk about that this week. He's incredible. And the Steelers won, unfortunately. So you have the Ravens at 7-3, the Browns at 6-3, the Steelers at 6-3, and the Bengals at 5-4. And these are two big ifs, but if the Browns can beat Pittsburgh at home and the Bengals beat the Ravens in Baltimore, then the Cleveland Browns will have sole possession of first place. And the Browns will know if that's the case going into the game because the Bengals and the Ravens play on Thursday Night Football. Here's the great news. The Browns have beaten the Ravens, the 49ers, and the Bengals. The three best teams they've played so far. After the Steelers, they have the Broncos, the Rams. Jags are pretty good, but that's games at home. Then the Bears. Obviously, the Texans are a lot better than we thought. But after the Steelers, Broncos, Rams, Jags, Bears, that's a pretty favorable schedule. And it's 6-3 right now. I think there's a good chance the Browns will have 10 wins heading into the final 3 games of the season. A very good chance. Great win for the Browns today. An absolutely tremendous effort by Kevin Stefanski. There was criticism. People were ripping him in the first half. You were all out of pocket. You sounded like idiots. Kevin Stefanski did a great job in this game, making up for the lack of tackles, making up for the early pick six, making up for the deficit. He didn't give up on the run. He stuck with it. Jerome Ford, we all crushed him last week. Me especially. I said the guy's not any good. He was amazing. 17 for 107, averaged over 6 yards per carry. He was absolutely fantastic. Deshaun finishes 20 of 34, 213, a touchdown and a pick. Again, not a perfect game, far from it, but a great second half. He's had 2 really good second halves in a row, but to do it this way against Baltimore after how bad he played in the first half, that was big. Ravens were able to run the ball early, but not much in the second half. Gus Edwards, beside that big Keaton Mitchell run for 39 yards, that was a great play, that touchdown early in the first half. You take out that play, the Ravens had 23 rushes for 67 yards. I'm not the best mathematician in the world, but I think that's under 3 yards a rush outside of that one Keaton Mitchell run. Njoku, great game, 6 of 58. Elijah Moore finally made an impact, 5 of 44 in the touchdown. Amari Cooper, 6 for 98. Cedric Tillman didn't do anything, but he got the pass interference call, so that's not nothing. Myles Garrett played a big-time game, as he always does. Had another 1.5 sacks. Half sack each for Greg Newsome, who had the big pick. Finally got the pick. He also had a quarterback hit. It was Darius Smith. Had 2 quarterback hits in this one. JOK with a couple of big plays, including a half a sack and 2 tackles for a loss. The secondary was beat up when Denzel Ward got hurt. Mike Ford made a good play on an interception. Got beat later on the Beckham play, but the guy was put in a tough spot. And overall, a fantastic effort across the board. Kudos to all the coaches. The Browns are a legitimate contender in the AFC North, in the AFC period, in the NFL, and the Browns should be favored over the Steelers. I think the Browns will be a field goal favorite this week, maybe more. Brownie's legit, folks. It's the first time in a very long time I can say that. And if Deshaun Watson, I said this last week, but I'll say it again this week, if he can play the way he did in the second half, Browns are going to win a whole lot of football games with this defense. Definitely an improved running game here. It was a good win. It was a great win. Kudos to all the fans that didn't jump off the bandwagon at the end of the first half. All right, we'll be talking about this, and we'll be looking ahead to Pittsburgh all week. Thanks to Brian and Max for producing. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening. Please hit the subscribe button under the Bullpen with Adam the Bull when you go on YouTube. There's a button. All you got to do is hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you any money. Just hit subscribe. Hit the bell, ding the bell, and you'll get alerts every time I put out a podcast. Thanks as always for joining me. We'll talk to you next time. Where else but right here in the Bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet Rivers. Browns win again. Nice job.